Good morning, children. This is Sudharani, biological science teacher in KGBV Dubur. Welcome to the chapter Cell, its structure and functions. We all know about cell. Cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. We learned that every living organism is made up of cells, just like how a wall is made out of bricks. A living organism is made up of cells. So, cell is the basic unit of life. Cell is known as fundamental unit of life because all functions regulates inside the cell. Cell is known as structural and functional unit of life because whole body is made up of cells. In your lower classes, you already learned that all cells is made up of some parts. That means every cell is made up of some components. Every cell has got some parts inside it. You already studied about some parts in your lower classes like nucleus, cytoplasm, etc. Each parts perform specific functions like clearing waste materials, protein synthesis and lipid synthesis. Let us see the shape and size of cells. We already learned about the shapes of cells. The shell exists in different shapes. Some cells are in oval, some cells are in round, some cubical and cylindrical. In this way, the cells exist in different shapes. Some cells can change their shapes like amoeba and WBC, white blood cells. But plant and animal cells have almost fixed shapes. They did not change their shapes. Then what about the size of cells? We know that cells are very small, microscopic. That means we can see the cells only under microscope. But there are some cells which can be seen with the naked eye. For example, the smallest cell is, you know that one, mycoplasma. We can't see through your naked eye. We see only through microscope. And the largest cell is ostrich egg. This is the biggest cell. So it is, we can see through your naked eye. And the longest animal cell is nerve cell. Let us see the classification of organisms. Already we learnt about the classification of organisms in our lower classes. Based upon the presence of number of cells, organisms are classified as two types. So, all organisms are classified or divided into two groups according to the number of cells. They are unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. First of all, unicellular organism. So, unicellular organisms means the organisms, they have only one cell throughout their life. It is called as unicellular organisms. For examples, amoeba, paramecium, euglena, etc. These are examples of unicellular organisms. Then, multicellular organisms. Some organisms, they have number of cells. Some have tens, some have hundreds, thousands, millions, trillions. So based upon the size and complexity of organisms, it may have millions of cells. So the organisms, these range from 10 to million. These organisms also called as multicellular organisms. For examples, plants, animals and fungi. So these are examples of multicellular organisms. Irrespective of unicellular or multicellular organisms, the cells performs similar basic functions for their survival. These are examples of unicellular organisms. This one amoeba, you know that one very well, all are, and this one paramecium and euglena. So these are examples of unicellular organism. So these all organisms have only one cell throughout their life. This is multicellular organisms. So examples of multicellular organisms are plants and humans. So you know that cell is the basic unit of life, the structural and functional unit of life. So in plants and animals, the cells are grouped and formed tissue. So what is tissue? A group of cells are called tissue. Then the tissues are formed to organ. Then all organs formed like organism. So this way the multicellular organism is formed in human and plants. Okay, so these are multicellular organisms. So what is multicellular organisms? The organisms have number of cells 10 to trillions like. So it is called as multicellular organisms. Now we see the study cells. So how do we do study the cells or observe the cells? To observe the cells, we need some special instruments. You might have learned how Robert Hooke and Anthony van Leeuwenhoek they observed the tiny things, microorganisms. So the cell is first discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. He is the first one to see and identify cork cells. So he observed honeycomb-like structures, named them as cellulae or cells. It means a very little room. So we study the cells, we need a special instruments called microscope. So who is he? He is Robert Hooke. So we study or observe the cell, we need microscopes. So basically the microscopes are different types. Basically the microscopes are three types. Simple microscope, compound microscope, electron microscope. Simple microscope, compound microscope and electron microscope. First one, simple microscope. Simple microscope is a very simple instrument it which used to observe the stomata or some outline features of the cell. But it is not possible to observe the cell organelles. So only we observe stomata or outline features of the cell through simple microscope. Then compound microscope. Compound microscope is used to study or observe the cell and its parts. For example, nucleus and cytoplasm and cell wall. But it is not possible to study the other cell organelles like Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, etc. If you want to study the other inner parts of the cells, we need a powerful microscope called as electron microscope. So that scientists used this electron microscope to study the cell in details. So through electron microscope, we observe the other parts like endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, chloroplast, etc. So compulsory, we need microscope to observe or to study the cell. So these are different types of microscopes. Simple microscope, compound microscope and electron microscopes. Which type of microscopes we have in your school laboratory? Obviously we have compound microscope. So these are different kind of topics which we have learnt in our lower classes. Now we are going to discuss about the parts of a cell. So what parts present in a cell? We call them as cell organelles. So in this lesson, we are going to discuss about the functions and structure of cell organelles. Now we talk about typical cell. So what is typical cell? Typical cell. We know plant cell and animal cell. But what is typical cell? Typical cell is nothing but a model cell. That means it represents all the cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi body and endoplasmic reticulum, etc. Say for example, we take an animal cell. So animal cell have all cell organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane, etc. But every animal cell do not have all cell organelles. For example, some animal cell they have more number of mitochondria than Golgi bodies. But generally we drawing a general diagram which representing animal cell, we showing all cell organelles in a single cell. That is the typical cell. So typical cell nothing but model cell. So that cell contain all cell organelles in a single diagram. Like plant cells also. So some all plant cells do not have all cell organelles. For example, chloroplast, that is one cell organelle. The chloroplast present in tender stems, but some cells of plant they did not have chloroplast. So when we draw a example of cell of plant, we show all cell organelles in a single diagram. So that is called as typical cell. These are diagrams of plant cell and animal cell. Now let us discussing the of differences and similarities of plant cell and animal cell. First of all, we see and we observe the parts of animal cell. First of all, you see here the plant cell got a thick wall. It is called cell wall. It is a thick wall. That is a cell wall. Inside the cell wall, a thin membrane is present. That is cell membrane or plasma membrane. This is cell membrane, thin membrane. And you observe inside the cell, this is cytoplasm. This is cytoplasm. And you observe here most of the space of the cell occupied by vacuole. This is vacuole. And we see here a dark body. It is nucleus. It is nucleus. Inside the nucleus, nucleolus is present. This is nucleolus. And this one, endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum and a rough endoplasmic reticulum. This is chloroplast, and the plant cell got ribosomes also, and here the plant cell got Golgi apparatus and or Golgi body. So these are the parts of plant cell. So this is the plant cell. Let us observe the animal cell. So we observe animal cell. First of all, we observe the animal cell surrounded by a thin membrane. It is called cell membrane or plasma membrane. This is plasma membrane. Inside the cell, we observe dark body, that is nucleus. This is nucleus. This one nucleus, and this inside the nucleus it is nucleolus is present. So here also present endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi body and lysosome, ribosomes, mitochondria. So some features are the same both plant and animal cell. So this is the features or parts of the animal cell. So now we observe what is the major difference of plant cell and animals. We observe here both the diagrams. Yes, that is cell wall, cell wall. And also here we observe here a big, that means large vacuole are present in plant cell, but here very small vacuole is present. This is also major difference. And also here plastids are present. Plastids. Where the plastids? Yes, that is chloroplast. But in animal cell, the plastids are absent. So these are major differences between plant cell and animal cell. When you identify what is this and what is this, first of all we look this cell wall. Yes, this is plant cell. Very easily we observe, we identify the cell. Now we are going to discuss about cell organelles in details. Now let us start with the cell wall. You know the cell wall is extra outer covering of the cell. So how is the cell wall? Cell wall is a very hard and rigid, and also it is a thick membrane to compare the cell membrane. See, if you touch a wood, you feel very hard to touch. But when you touch the hand, you feel very soft. This is the difference between plant and animal cell. The cell wall is made up of cellulose. Cellulose is a kind of carbohydrate. And also, what is the function of cell wall? It gives support and strength. And also, it encounters the inner pressure. That means they protect the cell by this pressure. And also, another important role the cell wall is, it play a major role in to transport the information and substance. So this is the extra outer membrane, that is the cell wall. So the cell wall surrounded by the cell. So this is the major part of the plant cell, that is the cell wall. But the cell wall absent in animal cell. So another part of the cell, that is cell membrane. Cell membrane is outermost cover of the cell. So it is found in both and plant cell. It is very thin and flexible layer. The cell membrane is made up of lipids and proteins. So what is the functions of cell membrane? The cell membrane gives shape to the cell. So each cell have a specific shape, that means like a round, cylindrical, oval, etc. So another function of cell membrane is it is packing the inner contents of the cell. It is packing the inner contents of the cell. And this one, it maintains the balance inside the cell. So what is the balance? So balance of the composition. So inside the cell, the composition is water, nutrients and other materials. So in the cell, the inside of the environment different from outer environment. So the extracellular environment different from inner environment. So the difference is maintained by this cell membrane. So what is this mean? That means the cell membrane did not allow all substances into the cell. They allow only selective substances into the cell. That means they give permit only selective components. This nature of the cell membrane is called as selective permeable membrane. Selective permeable membrane means they allow only selective materials into the cell. And also cell membrane is also called as plasma membrane. Why it is called as plasma membrane? This membrane surrounding plasma. So it is called as plasma membrane. Let us see this activity. So what is this activity? This is to observe the cell membrane. So when we observe the cell membrane, we need some materials. So the required materials for this activity: rheoloef, slide, cover slip, microscope, salt, water. Then we do this activity. First of all, take a rheoloef and tear it. Then take a thin transparent peel on a slide and put a drop of water on it. Cover the peel with cover slip and observe under the microscope. Now put 1 or 2 drops of salt solution on the membrane and leave it for 5 to 10 minutes. Again observe it under microscope. Then we observe it. When we put salt solution over the peel, the water present inside the cells come out and shrink the cytoplasm. Then the cell membrane is separated from the cell wall and observed very clear. See here, when you observe the cell membrane under microscope, it is you observe. So this is plasma membrane, that means cell membrane. So this is shrinking cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is shrinking when we put a salt water on the thin transparent membrane. And here also we observe very clear. So this is cytoplasm, this is cell membrane, and this is cell wall. This is cell wall. So this way we observe the cell membrane or plasma membrane very clearly under the microscope. Now let us talk the inside parts of the cell. They are nucleus, cytoplasm, mitochondria, lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, plastids, ribosomes, and vacuole. So these cell organelles present inside the cell. So let us see about the each and every cell organelles in details. Now talk about nucleus. It is one of the important cell organelle. So nucleus is discovered by Robert Brown in 1831. So it is found in the center of the cell. This is nucleus. It is found in the center of the cell. Yes, this is cell. And the nucleus covered by double membrane. This is double membrane. It is called as nuclear membrane. It is nuclear envelope also called nuclear membrane. Then nucleus controls the structure and working of cells. Here we observe another part of the nucleus. It is another one dark portion, that is a nucleolus. And the nucleus consists of genetic material. This is genetic material, nothing but DNA. These are all genetic material, that is nothing but DNA. Okay, nucleolus. It is a component of nucleus. It is synthesize the ribosomal subunits. This is nucleolus. And what about the function of nucleus? So nucleus control and regulate all the cell activities. So it controlled all cell activities. Just like your school controlled by your principal. So it is called as head of the cell. So nucleus called as head of the cell also. Control room also. And the another function is it is storehouse of genetic information. Another function is it is storehouse of genetic information. And another one more important function of nucleus, that is cell division. It plays a major role in cell division. So this is about the nucleus. This is the structure of nucleus. Yes, this is the structure of nucleus. Now let us this activity. So this activity is to observe the nucleus in cheek cells. So our aim is to observe the nucleus in cheek cells. So we need some required materials for this activity. So what are that? Toothpick or ice cream spoon, slide, cover slip, watch glass, needle, blotting paper, 1% methylene blue, normal saline, glycerin, and microscope. So here one precaution is there, that is you do not scrape the cheek too hard. That is the precaution. Now let us do this activity. First of all, Wash your mouth and scrape the internal lining of cheek with the ice cream spoon. Place the scrape in watch glass containing a very small quantity of normal saline. Then place the material on a glass slide. Put a drop of methylene glue and wait for 2 minutes. Wipe off the extra stain with a blotting paper. Put a drop of glycerin over it. Then you place a cover slip and press it gently. Now you observe under the microscope. So when you observe the under microscope, the cells almost round shape. This one, this is the nucleus. This is nucleus. See here all of you, this is nucleus. All are nucleus. This is cheek cell. This is cheek cell. This is color. This is one methylene blue. Okay. We can observe the round dot-like structure here at the center of the cell. So this is nothing but nucleus. So all are understand this activity? Yes, right. This way we observe the nucleus in our cheek cell. Now let us discuss about prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Depending upon nucleus, the organisms classified or divided into two groups. They are prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So, let us see what is prokaryotes and what is eukaryotes. This is prokaryotic cell and this is eukaryotic cell. So, first of all, we learn about prokaryotic. Prokaryotic means the organisms which have organized materials. That means it is not having the nuclear membrane. So the organisms which do not have nuclear membrane, that means which do not have nucleus, these organisms are also called as prokaryotes. For example, bacteria and human or BC and platelets also. And another one, that is eukaryotes. Eukaryotes. The organisms which have an organized nucleus. That means the nucleus have a nuclear material. That means it has having the nuclear membrane. These organisms are called as eukaryotes. Example, plants and animals. So what is prokaryotic? These organisms do not have nuclear membrane, and eukaryotes mean these organisms have nuclear membrane, that means nucleus. Okay. So this is bacteria. This is all fungi, animals, plants, some cells of organisms. So this is about prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Now let us see another important cell organelle, that is cytoplasm. So cytoplasm is the fluid present inside the cell. So cytoplasm is present between the nucleus and cell membrane. So this is the cytoplasm, this is cell membrane, and this is nucleus. So the cytoplasm present between nucleus and cell membrane. So all another remaining cell organelles floating on this cytoplasm, These all are floating here. Observe. Yes. Basically, cytoplasm composed of water, ions, minerals, and other nutrients. So these are contained in cytoplasm. So what about the function of cytoplasm? So cytoplasm provides nourishment, that means nutrients to the cell organelles. That whilst all cell organelles live and do their functions well. So this is about cytoplasm. Let us see cytoplasm versus protoplasm. This picture shows differences between cytoplasm and protoplasm. So what is cytoplasm and what is the protoplasm? Are the cytoplasm and protoplasm are the same? No. Then see. Cytoplasm does not include the nucleus and other cell organelles. But protoplasm includes nucleus and other cell organelles inside the cell. Cytoplasm consists only fluid portion, but the protoplasm consists fluid portion and also all cell organelles. So we observe here clearly. So cytoplasm with the nucleus and other cell organelles is also called as protoplasm. But it is only cytoplasm without nucleus and without cell organelles. So this is the differences between cytoplasm and protoplasm. Once again we observe the differences between cytoplasm and protoplasm. So cytoplasm does not include the nucleus and other organelles, you know that one. At the same time, protoplasm includes the nucleus and all the organelles present in the cell. Cytoplasm consists only fluid portion, but the protoplasm consists fluid portion and also organelles also. So this is the differences between cytoplasm versus. Now let us talk about another important cell organelle, that is mitochondria. So mitochondria is responsible for cellular respiration. First of all, we see the structure of mitochondria. So the mitochondria name coined by Benda. So mitochondria is bounded by two membranes. This is outer membrane and this is inner membrane. Outer membrane is smooth and porous, while inner membrane is folded inwards to form cristae. So here we observe finger-like structure. It is called as cristae. But outer membrane nothing have this type of folds. It is very smooth. This is outer membrane. This is inner membrane. Finger-like structure is called as cristae. Cristae contains oxysomes. They are partially embedded in the inner membrane. And also mitochondria encloses a matrix. This is matrix having DNA, ribosomes and enzymes. So the main role of mitochondria is cellular respiration. So in the cell, the respiration done in mitochondria. So the mitochondria generates the most of chemical energy that needed for biochemical reactions of cell. Mitochondria is rod-shaped cell which takes part in Krebs cycle. Right. Chemical energy produced by mitochondria. So some energy produced by mitochondria in respiration is stored in small molecule called ATP. That means adenosine triphosphate. That is a energy currency. So that's why mitochondria also called as the powerhouses of the cell. So another name of mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That's why it is called as powerhouse of the cell. Why? Because it generates the energy stored as ATP. This is the structure of mitochondria. This is the diagram of mitochondria. This is the mitochondria present in the cell. This is about the structure and function of mitochondria. Let us see another important cell organelle, that is lysosome. So lysosomes are present in animal cell but lacks in plant cell. This is lysosomes present in a cell. So lysosome is membrane bounded cell organelle. So this is membrane covering on lysosome. So lysosomes contain digestive enzymes which can break down the materials. Okay. So lysosomes are also known as suicidal bags of cells. Why? Because when a cell gets damaged, then lysosomes burst and enzymes digest their own cell. That's why lysosomes are known as suicidal of bags of cells. So this is membrane and the enzymes present in the lysosome, and also they transport the proteins also. This is also function. And what are the function? The function of lysosomes are intracellular digestion. And another one is it removal of cell waste materials. So this is about structure and function of lysosomes. Do you understand why lysosome are called as suicidal bags of cell? Let us talk next cell organelle, that is endoplasmic reticulum, ER. Endoplasmic reticulum is a network of interconnecting membrane distributed throughout the cytoplasm. This is endoplasmic reticulum. These all are network. This is endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum connected the both. This is nuclear membrane and plasma membrane. So endoplasmic reticulum connected to both nuclear membrane and plasma membrane. It acts as endoskeleton of cell. So the endoplasmic reticulum acts as like endoskeleton of cell. Endoplasmic reticulum are two types. They are rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So we observe clearly, this is rough and this is smooth ER. This is the structure of endoplasmic reticulum. You know, endoplasmic reticulum are two types. One is rough endoplasmic reticulum and another one is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. First one is rough endoplasmic reticulum. So the rough endoplasm, why it is called as rough endoplasmic reticulum? Because its surface contains ribosomes. See here, its surface contains ribosomes on its surface. So it is called rough endoplasmic reticulum. So what about the function of rough endoplasmic reticulum? Rough endoplasmic reticulum synthesizes and secretes proteins. This is the function of RER, rough endoplasmic reticulum, or ER. Next, Another type of endoplasmic reticulum is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Why it is called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Because its surface does not contain ribosome. So here let us see all of you. So it does not contain ribosomes. So it is called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So what about the function of smooth endoplasmic reticulum? They synthesize and secretes lipids and steroids. So what about the function of rough endoplasmic reticulum? It is synthesize and secretes proteins, and a smooth endoplasmic reticulum synthesize and secretes lipids and steroids. This is about the structure and function of endoplasmic reticulum. Next, another important cell organelle, that is ribosomes. So you know that where you found ribosomes in the surface of endoplasmic reticulum. You know that one. So ribosomes are small rounded bodies. See here, so small rounded bodies found either in free state cytoplasm or attached to the surface of endoplasmic reticulum. So this is endoplasmic reticulum. The ribosomes are attached to the surface of endoplasmic reticulum. Right. Then the ribosomes are composed of ribonucleic acid, that means RNA, that is nucleic, and proteins. They are not bounded by a membrane. See here, whatever you learned, all other cell organelles, almost all they have cell membrane. But here, the ribosomes are not bounded a membrane. The ribosomes are present both prokaryotes and eukaryotes. You know about what is prokaryotes and what is eukaryotes. But the ribosomes are absent in mammals RBC. Okay? Right. So what is the function of ribosomes? You know very well the function of ribosomes. Just now we study the ribosomes are synthesis and secretion of proteins. Yes, right. This is the structure and function of the ribosomes. So this is the about ribosomes. Now let us see about Golgi apparatus and also known as Golgi body. First time Camillo Golgi was observed. The Camillo Golgi was observed in cell, the Golgi body. So Golgi apparatus is double membrane structure. The Golgi apparatus is double membrane structure present in cell. Golgi apparatus is also called as Golgi body or Golgi complex. In animal cells, Golgi is a single complex. In plants, they form separate units or called dichotosomes. Membrane-bound sacs of Golgi are called cisternae. Cisternae occurs in sacs, tubes, vesicles occur on their periphery. So now let us see the functions of Golgi apparatus. So Golgi apparatus is involved in repair and synthesis of cell membranes, and lysosomes are formed by Golgi body. And also the components of cell wall are synthesized by Golgi complex. Another important function of Golgi, they pack up the substance before they are transported to the pot of another part of the cell. So what is the another important function of Golgi body? They pack the substance before they are transported to other part of the cell. This is the most important function of Golgi body. This is about the structure and the function of Golgi complex. Yes, this is Golgi complex. Let us see one more important cell organelle, that is plastids. So plastids are large cell organelle found only in plant cell. So plastids are present in only plant cell. This is one difference between plant cell and animal cell. So plastids are specialized to synthesize and store organic substances. Okay. Then the plastids are three types. They are chloroplast, leucoplast and chromoplast. Chloroplast, green color. Leucoplast, leuco mean color, chloro mean green, chromoplast mean color, different colors. So these are three types of plastids. So what about the function of plastids? First of all, chromoplast function. The chromoplast provide colors to fruits and flowers in plants. Then leucoplast. The leucoplast performs function of storage of oil, starch, proteins, that mean food. So the leucoplast performs the function of storage of food. And last but not least, that is chloroplast. You know very well about the chloroplast. Chloroplast is one important cell organelle present in plant. Why? Because this is responsible for photosynthesis. This is very important life process. So in chloroplast, the chloroplast traps solar energy and synthesize food by absorbing solar energy by the process of photosynthesis. And also chloroplasts are also known as kitchen of the plant, food factory, because in chloroplast food is synthesized through photosynthesis. So we observe here chloroplast structure. Three membranes outer covered by chloroplast, colorless fluid is called as stroma, and inside of the stroma the stacks of thylakoids are found. It is called as granum thylakoid. So this is the structure of chloroplast. Very important cell organelle present in the cell. So how many types of plastids? There are three types of plastids. Okay, right. Next cell organelle, that is vacuole. Let us see about the structure and function of the vacuole. Vacuole nothing but storehouse of the cell. So vacuoles are found in both plant cell and animal cell. So vacuoles are present both cells, either plant or animal. So this is vacuole. But in plant cell, vacuoles are very large sized. This is very large. But in animal cells, the vacuoles are small in size. This is the between little. Vacuoles are filled with some fluid. This fluid is called as cell sap. This is cell sap, fluid with fluid. Cell sap contain water and minerals, salts and so on. The many important substances such as proteins, amino acids and sugars are stored in cell sap of vacuole. This is the function of the vacuole. That's why vacuole is the storehouse of the cell. Why? Because in this vacuole, the amino acids, sugars, proteins all are stored in cell sap of vacuole. So this is about the structure and function of the vacuole. Let us see another important activity, that is to observing the vacuoles. In cactus or aloe vera stem or leaves. We do this activity, we need some required materials. They are cactus or aloe vera leaf or stem, watch glass, water, safranin and microscope. Let us do this activity. First of all, take a leaf or stem of aloe vera. Take thin cross section in a watch glass containing water. Keep it on slide and stain it with the dilute safranin solution. Then we keep the slide under microscope. Then you observe it under microscope. When you observe through microscope, we observe large empty spaces are appeared in the cells. So this is large empty spaces. This is vacuole. So all are observed, very clearly observe the vacuole in aloe vera leaf. So this is the activity about to observe the vacuole in aloe vera leaf. Now, are cells flat? No. When you draw a cell, it appears like a flat. In fact, it is two-dimensional diagram. That's why it is appears like flat. But really, the cells are not flat. They are three-dimensional shape. For example, that means the cells exist oval, spherical, spindle and cylindrical, etc. For example, the earth look like as a flat, but actually the earth shape is spherical, but it appears like a flat. That's why the cells are not flat. They have three-dimensional in shape. So look here, all are three-dimensional shape. This is red blood cells, this is neuron, this is epithelial cells, white blood cells and muscle cells. These all appear three-dimensional shape. Let us see. Where do cells come from? Around 1838 to 39, the two scientists, they are Matthias Jacobs Claden and Theodor Schwann, generalized cell theory. This theory explains that all living organisms are made up of cells and products of cells. But this theory did not explain about where the new cells come from. So the cell theory did not explain where the new cells come from. Later, in 1885, Rudolf Karl Virchow explained that the new cells comes or arises from pre-existing cells. So where do cells come from? The cells come from or arises pre-existing cells. Okay? Right. From cell division. That is cell division is a very important process for upcoming cells. After completion of this lesson, I give you some homework. This is the questions for you. Read and write the answers in your notebook. Okay? And observe this diagram and identify what is this and label the parts. Okay? So you observe clearly this diagram. What is this? And you write it, the label the parts of the diagram. This is also your homework. I hope all are understand my lesson. Study well, grow well, be a good citizen. Thank you.